Picture a city that never sleeps. Garbage trucks can't complete their routes because the streets are gridlocked with traffic. Repair crews can't fix the broken asphalt. The sewage pipeline is overloaded. Nobody has time to maintain the infrastructure because the city is in a constant state of rush hour. That is your body on 5 or 6 meals a day. Now imagine that city at 3 a.m. The streets are empty. The repair crews roll out. The garbage gets hauled away. The maintenance teams get to work. That's what happens when you stop eating. Today, we are going inside the human body on a full 23-hour fast, the protocol known as OMAD, or 1 meal a day. We're tracking hour by hour through the exact physiological changes happening inside your cells, so you understand not just what happens, but why this might be one of the most powerful tools for health you've never been told about. Start the clock. The moment your last bite goes down, the countdown begins. For the first 4 hours, your body is in full processing mode. Your stomach is breaking proteins into amino acids. Carbohydrates are being chopped into glucose molecules and flooded into your bloodstream. Your blood sugar climbs and your pancreas fires immediately with a surge of insulin. Insulin is the gatekeeper. Think of it as a traffic officer standing in front of your fat cells, arms crossed, directing energy into storage and blocking any from flowing back out. While insulin is elevated, your fat cells are under lockdown, padlocked, completely sealed off as a fuel source. This is not a malfunction in the system. This is the system operating exactly as engineered. Your body is channeling immediate energy from the food you just consumed. Any glucose that isn't burned right now gets stored in the liver and muscle tissue in the form of glycogen, essentially a short-term energy reserve. Think of glycogen as the cash in your wallet. Fast to access, but limited in supply. Nothing dramatic is happening yet. This is just the digestive engine running, normal and unremarkable. But it sets the stage for everything that follows. This is the phase that breaks most people. Not because it's dangerous, but because it's uncomfortable enough to convince you it is. Around hour 6 to 8, the energy wave from your last meal has fully receded. Blood glucose levels normalize. Insulin starts to retreat. And that's when the brain fires its first alarm. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, begins to spike. Your stomach growls. You might feel a dull headache, maybe some irritability, a faint shakiness in your hands. Almost everyone in the modern world interprets this signal as an emergency. They think, I need to eat. I'm starving. My blood sugar is crashing. But that's not what's happening. Your blood sugar isn't crashing. Your body is simply switching fuel systems, and the engine hasn't made the transition yet. It's like a hybrid vehicle that has only ever run on gasoline suddenly being asked to switch to the electric motor. There's a brief hesitation, a slight lurch in power. Not danger, just transition. If you push through this window, and it's a window, not a wall, your liver steps in. It cracks open the glycogen vault and begins converting stored glucose back into usable blood sugar to keep your energy steady. Your brain stays fueled. Your muscles keep firing. You aren't burning muscle tissue. You aren't shutting down. You're simply drawing on your savings account instead of your daily paycheck. By now, the glycogen reserves are running critically low. Your body has been draining its cash reserves and the vault is nearly empty. This is the decision point. Your body could panic. Or it could do what it evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to do, adapt. Insulin drops to its lowest baseline level. And when insulin steps back, a different enzyme steps forward, hormone-sensitive lipase. This enzyme is the molecular key that unlocks your fat cells. For the first time in potentially days or even weeks, your body begins drawing real energy from adipose tissue, your stored body fat. You're no longer running on yesterday's dinner. You're running on you. This is the metabolic pivot most people never reach because they eat again before it ever happens. Something remarkable occurs between hour 14 and 16 that almost nobody talks about. The hunger pangs stop. Not suppressed. Not managed. They disappear entirely. The reason is straightforward physics. When you depend on food for fuel, your energy supply is volatile, spiking and crashing every few hours like a turbulent stock chart. When you tap into stored body fat, your energy source becomes extraordinarily stable. Even a lean athlete is carrying tens of thousands of calories locked in fat tissue. That's a power reserve that can run for weeks. As your body dismantles fat into fatty acids, your liver begins converting those fatty acids into ketones. Ketones are a secondary fuel that your brain can run on when blood glucose runs low. And here is the remarkable part. The brain doesn't just tolerate ketones. It prefers them under certain conditions. Ketones combust cleaner than glucose. When glucose is metabolized, it generates significant oxidative stress, metabolic exhaust inside your cells. Ketones produce more ATP energy per molecule with less cellular damage. The brain on ketones is like a high-performance engine running on premium fuel instead of regular grade. This is why around hour 16, people who fast regularly report something counterintuitive. They don't feel weak. They feel sharp. The mental fog dissolves. Focus crystallizes. Energy becomes smooth and flat rather than spiky and erratic. This makes complete evolutionary sense. A prehistoric hunter who became mentally sluggish when starving wouldn't survive long enough to find prey. Hunger was supposed to sharpen our instincts, sharpen our awareness, drive us forward. Hunger was the hunter's edge. We engineered that out of ourselves with snack culture. Now we arrive at what many researchers consider the most significant phase of the entire fast. Remember the city metaphor from the opening? The streets are clear now. The repair crews have been waiting for this moment. Inside your cells, something extraordinary is being triggered: autophagy. Here's how to picture it. Your cells are packed with molecular debris, worn-out proteins, defective mitochondria, misfolded structures that have lost their function. Under normal fed conditions, the cell has no reason to clear this wreckage. New raw materials keep arriving. Why recycle when the supply chain is running? But after 16 to 18 hours without food, the cell's internal maintenance system powers on. It begins tagging its own damaged components: broken organelles, dysfunctional mitochondria, even viral invaders and bacteria lurking inside the cell, wrapping them in a membrane, dissolving them, and reconstructing fresh amino acids and cellular building blocks from the debris. Autophagy literally means self-eating, but a more precise description might be self-renewal. Your cells are not destroying themselves. They are renovating themselves, stripping out the rot and rebuilding with clean materials. The implications of this process are enormous. Dysfunctional mitochondria are directly tied to aging and declining energy output. Misfolded proteins are linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Cellular debris accumulation has been connected to cancer development. Autophagy is your body's native defense against all of it. When you eat around the clock, this process never activates. The cleaning crew never shows up. Year after year, the cellular wreckage accumulates. This is why longevity researchers keep returning to caloric restriction and fasting. Autophagy may be the closest thing to biological anti-aging ever discovered. This is the objection I hear constantly, and it needs to be addressed directly. If my body is breaking down its own structures for fuel, doesn't that mean it's consuming my muscle? This is physiologically backwards. And here's why. As the fast deepens into hours 20 and 22, your body releases one of its most powerful anabolic hormones, human growth hormone, or HGH. Clinical studies show fasting can drive HGH to spike anywhere from 1,300% to over 2,000% above baseline levels. HGH is specifically a muscle-preserving, fat-burning hormone. It acts as a biological force field around your lean muscle tissue, signaling your metabolism directly. Strip the fat reserves, leave the muscle alone. Think about the logic from a survival standpoint. If your ancient ancestors faced a food shortage, would their bodies burn powerful hunting muscles, the very tools needed to track down the next meal? Or burn the insulating fat reserves that exist precisely for this scenario? Your body is not irrational. It will not burn the furniture to heat the house when there's a woodpile stacked right outside. The combination of elevated HGH and low insulin creates a metabolic environment almost impossible to replicate any other way. You preserve or even build lean muscle. You burn fat aggressively. It's the dual outcome that most fitness protocols claim to deliver but rarely do. You are now in the final hour of your fasting window, and your body is operating in a state most people will never experience. Insulin sensitivity is at its absolute peak. Think of your cells the way you'd think of a dry sponge versus a saturated one. A cell fed glucose all day is already soaked. It can't absorb much more. But a cell that has been fasting for 23 hours is completely dry and primed to absorb every molecule of nutrition you deliver. Your gut lining has had nearly a full day to calm inflammation. The bacteria in your intestines that thrive on constant sugar delivery have been starved back, while the hardier, more beneficial bacterial strains remain. Your digestive system is rested, responsive, and operating at peak efficiency. Your brain is running on ketones. Your cells have completed their recycling cycle. Growth hormone is elevated. You've spent nearly a full day burning stored body fat as fuel. You are not depleted. You are ready. Here's where most people undermine everything they've just built. Because your body is so primed for absorption right now, what you put in carries double the impact, positive or negative. This is not the moment to reward yourself with junk food. This is the moment to build. Start with protein. High-quality, complete protein. Eggs, wild salmon, grass-fed beef, pasture-raised chicken. Your cells just completed an autophagy cycle where old proteins were broken down. They are now waiting for fresh amino acids to rebuild with. Protein consumed at this moment gets utilized with extraordinary efficiency. Follow with healthy fats: avocado, extra virgin olive oil, raw nuts. Since your metabolic machinery is still running in fat-burning mode, feeding it dietary fat keeps the engine running smoothly. It also dampens the insulin response, preventing the blood sugar roller coaster from restarting immediately. Then load your micronutrients. Since you're only eating one meal, you need to pack in everything your body requires in one sitting. A large volume of dark leafy greens, cruciferous vegetables, and fermented foods like kimchi or sauerkraut will deliver the potassium, magnesium, fiber, and gut-supporting bacteria that prevent cramping and fatigue in first-time fasters. When you eat this way, dense, satisfying, nutrient-complete, something unexpected happens. You get full faster than you expect. Not overstuffed full, genuinely hormonally satisfied. Because leptin, the satiety hormone, is functioning properly. You stop eating because your body signals enough, not because you ran out of food. If you're currently eating 3 meals a day plus snacks, and you attempt to jump straight to 1 meal a day tomorrow, you are going to feel terrible. Not because OMAD is harmful, because your body has never built the metabolic machinery to burn fat efficiently. Building the fat-burning enzymes, conditioning the liver to produce ketones, retraining your hunger hormones. This takes time. It's called metabolic flexibility, and most modern adults have lost it entirely. For the first week, expect headaches, possible dizziness, mental fog that seems to contradict everything I've told you about ketones. This isn't the protocol failing. This is withdrawal from a fuel system your body has depended on for decades. The single most common cause of early fasting symptoms isn't low blood sugar. It's electrolyte loss. When insulin drops, the kidneys flush water and sodium from your system rapidly. You lose salt. The solution is almost embarrassingly simple. A pinch of sea salt in your water during the fasting window will stop most headaches within minutes. Don't try to jump from 0 to 23 hours overnight. Push your first meal back by 2 hours. Then 4. Work up to skipping breakfast entirely. Then push lunch back. Give your body 2 to 3 weeks to adapt before you judge the results. And be honest about your starting point. OMAD places a real physiological stress load on the body. If you're already managing chronic stress, disrupted sleep, or a thyroid condition, a 23-hour fast may push cortisol to levels that work against you. This protocol is engineered for otherwise healthy adults. If you are pregnant, nursing, have a history of disordered eating, or are on medications for diabetes or blood pressure, do not attempt extended fasting without direct supervision from a physician. We exist inside a food environment engineered to make us afraid of hunger. Advertisements, habits, social structures, everything drives food toward us constantly. We've been conditioned to treat hunger as a malfunction rather than a signal. But hunger is not an emergency. It is a biological communication your body is sending you, and you can choose how to respond to it. Beyond the metabolic benefits, the fat loss, the cellular repair, the improved insulin sensitivity, there's a deeper freedom that comes with OMAD. You stop being controlled by your blood sugar. You stop scheduling your day around your next meal. You return to a rhythm that predates agriculture, predates grocery stores, predates the modern food machine. Hunt, feast, rest, repair. Your ancestors didn't eat 6 times a day, and their bodies knew exactly what to do when food wasn't available. So does yours. It's been waiting this whole time for the streets to clear so the repair crews can come out. You aren't starving. You are finally letting your body do what it was built to do. If you try this protocol, I want to hear about it in the comments. Did you hit the wall at hour 8? Did you feel the mental clarity kick in around hour 16? Where did you struggle, and what helped? Drop it below. I'll see you in the next one.